My name is Kaylin Dominguez, and today we'll be covering 3 different types of puddings along with 5 different kinds of sauces, and this was for Lab 5, Module 5. Here's my identification. So for what we got in the back here in the bowls, this is our puddings. From left to right, we have the instant pudding, the ready-to-eat pudding, the instant pudding from a box, and then our homemade pudding. And so what I gathered from these 3 puddings, you can see on the, the lighting's kind of bad. On the instant pudding, or ready-to-eat pudding, came out a lot thicker, flavor-wise, nuttier than the rest, and very creamy. And also darker tan than the rest. And no cooking was needed for that one. For the instant out of a box, 5-minute cooking time. Came out a little lumpier than the homemade, but creamier or thinner than the instant pudding or ready-to-eat pudding. Has a glossy appearance, not as nutty as the instant, but not as bland as the homemade. Again, 5-minute cooking time. For the third pudding, we have the homemade, and I followed the instructions listed for the assignment, and we use cornstarch as the starch in this one, and again 5-minute cooking time. This one had a more subtle vanilla flavor, creamy, very smooth, as you can see from what I've recorded here. So that pretty much covers the pudding experiment, but for the second one, looks very similar to the pudding, but this one is the sauces. And from left to right, I went in order as the assignment requested. So for this one here, this is the warm milk, the warm milk instruction. This is the cold milk instruction. This is the blended, flour last, and then just cornstarch. So from looking at these, judging by color and consistency, you can see that A and B came out very similar, very creamy. These would be what I would say ideal out of the 5 experiments, and a little lighter than the rest, other than this final one here, but came out a nice white cream. For the third and our C and D, they came out very similar. And again, this is the blended and flour last. It came out darker in color, darker tan, and a lot chunkier. I wouldn't say that this one is ideal for homemade cooking. And final came out completely different than the remaining. This one involved cornstarch and then removing the butter from the directions. And this one came out very light gel. Like gel and very translucent. As you can see, there's a very glossy appearance to it. And that wraps up my experiment for today. Thank you and have a good day.